Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. How are you? I've been in the mountains for a week. Youngest son had to get married again, and so took a little trip up into the mountains and the little chapel things, But need to get some mountain air down me. So I went up to Gatlinburg, Tennessee, a little party town. Uh, Saw some pretty cool things up there this time. But anyway, saw some bears in the woods, mama, papa, and little babies too. How are you all doing? I hope you're doing well. I have to catch up on all the weeks past. I hope this finds you all well, and everybody moving along on the road well. I hope you're all meditating and working with the now and setting that ego and that mind to the side when you remember it. To trip, to really trip. But it is definitely a pleasure, and real humbling to deal with so many great souls out there like yourselves, and all the work you're doing. Through the years, there's a lot you'll see as you go along and helping all these people. The rewards and the ups and downs that has, so many sick people. It's unbelievable, and I'm so proud of every one of you that are working with others. There's nothing more joyful and rewarding as giving, because the old adage, you give, you get when you give. And it's like when you open up and start giving, it just floods through you. And so it teaches you to just totally let go and give, and because you are never going anywhere, and you can't ever lose yourself. The illusion of the lower worlds of materiality, if you will, or of the negative forces, if you will, is that if you don't use the mind, you'll stop existing. You got to use that mind. No, you don't. Anyway, want to go on down the line here and try to catch up here a little bit. I appreciate not overwhelming me with questions while I'm gone, because it's getting caught up is the problem. And I definitely want to address those of you that are really suffering, and appreciate all the positive comments, and just love you all. And this is an interesting way of life, and you have to look at it as a way of life, because you must incorporate this as a way of life. And I think people, if they will just set their past aside and enter this new genre, this new realm, this new age of thinking and expanding oneself, and being happy, and getting back to some fundamentals that help us to interact with each other better. Sad that we have to fight each other so much. It's just a sad thing, because most of the disagreements are on petty things, actually, and not really on substantial things. But I want to go on here. Appreciate the picture there, dude. Another rock and roller, or blues, rhythm blues. Wonder who's going to win American Idol. I think it's going to be the black guy. Nobody blows those pipes like that black guy. What's his name? Not Jason, but man, is he good. Holy crap. The young Asian lady is extremely good, too. I liked Holly, but I also like Philip. Of course, I'm a fan of that type of music. Anyway, thanks for your comment, bro. Ouija board. I do see your eyes here. Some of the longer email questions are harder for me to get to, because of just so many of them here. But your eyes here, looking at them, my friend, definitely the right eye. You're definitely in the stomach and GI tract. You want to clean that up. Definitely get that lymph moving. Right kidney, definitely got to rebuild that. Got some issues going on in there. And also, I'm either looking at bladder or lower back. That's the black you see at around 5 o'clock. That's either bladder, lower back, coccyx area there. Can't tell unless I really map this out. Pupils look a little bigger than they should be with the light in there, which is central nervous system. but definitely the kidney and adrenal on the right side, not very happy there for you. And I look to the left side, not much better. So really need to work that out. Definitely interstitial lymphatic constipation, malabsorption. Look at your picture, kind of confirms that, but then looking at this definitely shows that as well. Looking at some groin or hip and right testicle, perhaps, left testicle perhaps, mid to upper back left side. Hard to see this distance away from the eye. Our pictures are really up close, as most of you have already seen. Our pictures are more like that, and hard for me to see when they're like that. But it's enough to see some things, and enough to say that GI tract, and the most common, most of you realize this by now, the most common areas to focus on is the GI tract, no question, the trunk of the tree. I mean, everything springs off of that almost. So the GI tract is vital, and a lot of people just think about cleaning off the wall of the GI tract. And really what you're trying to do is reach through the wall interstitially and get into the lymph system again. Now we got to clean the wall off, got to strengthen, but to strengthen we have to remove that which weakens. It's just common sense. That's what weakens tends to be the acidic side of chemistry as opposed to the base side of chemistry. You can get real base, but mostly I feel that we're dealing in acidosis as opposed to alkalosis. But again, you have theories and everything else. So I'd head off on that GI tract. Obviously, the lymphatic system is the other thing that we focus on. So if you focus on your GI tract, you focus on your lymphatic system, and that includes the kidneys and adrenals. That's a vital part of that system, and all the endocrine glands. When that's the central focus, brother, there's not much you can't cure. I can tell you, when you couple the raw food diet and deeper levels of fruitarian or fasting on fruits, if you want to use the word, because fasting isn't appropriate when we're talking about living on fruits. That's just a fruitarian lifestyle. It's not fasting. To many it appears to be fasting, and it's okay that we use that if you like. But it's digging in and moving this gigantic lymph system, and you all are doing a fantastic job of doing that. A bit of a trip, you know, hang in there. Sometimes it takes some people months, if not years, to regenerate their body, but what else you got to do? You know, you might as well head into it and enjoy that, you know, because joy and happiness follows that, spirituality and all of that. Lucy, let's see, I've been watching your videos and have ordered your book and some of the formulas. I am in a lot of pain. 4 years ago, I've injured one of my muscle attachments to scapula. I have never recovered and had problems just when sitting long hours. And so when you start seeing things like that, you know that one, when trauma to tissue is not healing, you know immediately the lymph system's involved. Who cleans up the mess? The lymph system, not the blood. Your blood's not having a problem flowing. That's ridiculous. This would be the lymphatic system, and this would be the retention of acids in those tissues, resulting in the inability of those tissues to repair themselves. You also might look, of course, at the parathyroid gland. What I love about you guys is that the smarter you get, it's just going to be really tough out there on most practitioners, because you guys are getting one major dose of education here that's going to take you way above most practitioners and your healing abilities. I love that, to tell you the truth. So keep yourselves fit, keep yourselves helping others and detoxifying others, and giving that love out there, and become some of the greatest healers that this planet has ever seen. And a lot of you are heading down that pathway. I love it. Just can't wait. So this is what you're seeing there. They told me that it is very light treatment, which, let me see here. I have nearly recovered and had problems just with sitting hours. I went to a doctor and they performed a laser treatment. Now again, what are they trying to accomplish with these type of treatments other than the damage of more tissue? You see what I'm saying? And their theory is kill more cells. It's kind of like our government. Borrow more, spend more. That'll make everything work better. Well, medical doctors think the same way. Kill more cells. I mean, it's all back-asswards. I mean, it's just all ridiculous stuff. And it's like we've got to get people's heads turned on properly here. You don't destroy tissue to regenerate tissue. That's an oxymoron. The treatment lasted 8 weeks. It was painful, and they told me to continue, and that it'll eventually get better, I guess. However, since the treatment 6 months ago, I have been in a lot of pain. No kidding. Because the problem is, even from a laser treatment and damage of tissue, you're not even cleaning that and repairing. They don't get that. They just don't get that. And we get that, and we got to fix that. So you got to move your lymph, dear one, and that side of your body that is on is showing you that that kidney is in more trouble than the other one, obviously. I have been trying juice fasting and juice fasting. We'll keep digging in, get on the herbs. All I can tell you, you'll see the night and day difference when you get on the botanicals. I don't know what to say about it. You know, I found that was the magic, you know, and the herbs are everything, I think. I've been always very thin, but now I am really thin and very, very weak. Well, that's because you're running into the adrenals and your autonomic nervous system. You're not on any stimulants. You're on pure energy and nutrition. Well, you know, that really brings about the genetics and shows you where you're at. Thin, malabsorption, of course, obviously, or pancreatic, or both. So we really want to work on that gut. This shows you that the lymph's backed up, you're malabsorbed. Again, the adrenals are down because of the fatigue, and that just is the link to the kidneys and the lymph system there. There's your link. I tried to reduce medication, but feeling a lot of pain. Absolutely. And I would do, Lucy, I'd do some castor oil packs on that shoulder. And wherever your problem is, do castor oil packs. That'll help you. We're trying to get our Hill All Salve back online again. You could do a poultice of Hill All tea or the herbs from that after you boil them down. But internally, you really want to go after your lymph system, and that's going to go into the kidneys. You're going to do a lymphatic 1 capsules, I would, for the GI tract. I'd also do a stomach and bowel. If you're not having too many bowel movements a day, get on that GI broom. I heard we had it in, and now it's all gone, so I don't know. But anyway, we're trying. So hang in there and keep working on that. Keep digging into that. Get that kidney capsules, even 2 kidney formulas if you can. Parasite M I would do. Go after those adrenal glands. Either do a cytotrophin, a glandular, or do if you have real low blood pressure, you can get by with using the herbal formula. And go after that pain. I mean, go after that lymph system. That's the system where the pain is, just holding it there. And nothing ever good comes of that, because further deterioration of that area will exist if you don't get that lymph moving and get these acids out of there. This just shows you that you can't go in and damage more tissue to fix tissue that are already inflamed and damaged. And that even accentuates the pain and creates more problems. And that's all the medical doctors have really done. And a lot of people don't get this, that they've created more problems. And more. They've created so many problems for the human species in terms of their health issues, it's not even funny. And yet, you know, every day they get praised for something. And it's like, oh, excuse me, guys, you need to refocus yourselves and quit hurting people and learn the truth. And then maybe all of us healers can work together and things will be good. Scorpio 662, Dr. Morris, I have heard you dozens of times talk about how the adrenals control the kidneys, but in over 500 videos I've seen, you've never taken the time to explain exactly how. Yeah, I have neurotransmitters, especially the dopamines and the acetylcholines. When you take a look at that, in nursing we use dopamine to increase kidney flow. So when you look at neurotransmitters and you look at epinephrine and norepinephrine, these are your adrenalins. They're going to dilate your blood vessels, they're going to dilate your bronchioles, they're going to increase thyroid function to pick up, you know, it's adrenaline. It picks up the sympathetic. It just picks the sympathetic up, which picks up dilation and activity. At the same time, it shuts down the dopamines and acetylcholines, which is actually more for elimination. Now, there's a sodium-potassium ratios also that can be involved. I don't know. You know, there could be other steroids involved with this. I don't know. And there also is pituitary hormones involved in kidney function as well. So we've got a lot of things to consider here. The thing is that we're on a new adventure here with very little research. Their heads are still up their butts pretty far right now, and they're still working on antiquated theories that they need to just scrap science and start over a little bit. it'd probably do them a lot better and drop a lot of these ridiculous theories that everybody holds. And I think it's important that you all realize that basically we live in a world of theories. Actualities are more like what you see in nature and what you guys are doing. That's the difference between true TV and a soap opera. When it comes to awakening the adrenals, it seems you don't have to have low blood pressure to have semi-functioning adrenals. No, but as you get those adrenal glands cleaned up, and I'll say this, it's kind of like this two-way street. The adrenals are affected greatly, obviously, in all situations of stress and everything else because of the neurotransmitters and the autonomic nervous system connection to the adrenals. That's obvious. Then you have all the steroid production. Well, because of the high protein diets and the slamming of the kidney tissue, then that resulted back to the lymph problems in the adrenals, which exacerbated further neurotransmitter and steroid problems. So now you're seeing just through the years of this, the adrenals getting weaker and weaker and weaker, and the actuality of this is most people have some degree of chronicness to their adrenal glands. So in reality, when you go on a raw food diet and you start removing all these stimulants out of your diet and out of your life, and you start eating energetically nutritional foods, then you're going to see your adrenals kind of slide to their genetics. All the hyperstimulation from acidosis is going to leave. Acidosis initially hyperstimulates or can hyperstimulate tissue, thus in hyperthyroidism and hyper a lot of things. But the always hyper goes into hypo. Overactivity actually ends up into low activity because the resulting decay of the cells from the acids that are or the stimulants that are creating the hyperactivity. And it's just the classic work with that. So you will tend to see low blood pressure. Now, if you don't get too low, I'm pretty happy because that shows that the adrenals aren't that weak. So you just have to correlate that between your iris photos and how you're feeling, where your blood pressure is, that sort of thing. Take a look at that. Sex drives and all these things. Women can look at their estrogens, men their testosterones, and so forth and so forth. Can you explain what other ways the adrenals go offline without affecting blood pressure versus how they go offline and affect blood pressure? Thanks, man. I appreciate it, bro. Well, I think that in terms of low blood pressure, now in terms of high blood pressure, I'm always going to relate that to the kidneys. Unless you have the swinging high blood pressure, and remember that comes from the cerebellum medulla area. But the steady high blood pressure are always kidneys, and then you start to see the bags, and then you start to see the deterioration there of the kidneys, which being the adrenals on top, they're, man and wife, if you will. So they're both going to decay together. I bet when the iris pictures are in, I see a lot of fairly good kidneys, but always weak adrenals. So I can't tell you outside of that. It's just that the years of the high proteins and that effect upon kidney tissue has resonated back into the adrenals and weakened them considerably. The high stress, of everything. Driving is very stressful. Traveling is very stressful. Money situations. I mean, everything. Mate situations. So that definitely shuts on the adrenals, and you have that side of it. Just what man's created for himself, a bunch of crap. I mean, the price of an average home and car is so ridiculous, it's not even funny. You're locked in there forever. You're working for the man forever. But that's what they want. Thanks for your question, Scorpius. This is HERMELIN 12. Hello. I'm interested in natural hygiene. Love the people. The great area to get into. And feel like it's the truth, but totally. I mean, you can't deny anything. There was a discourse series. Let's see if I can get to that a little bit here without disturbing everything. This is Feeling Fit for Life, presents in natural hygiene. This is one heck of a PhD course that the natural hygienic people came out with. I hate to see the fact that they're they're not more than they are. The natural hygienic people are really the foundation for health. They've been around a really long time, and I would love to finish that coursework, but never have the time to finish that up. But extremely great information, volumes of it. I forget there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, or 13 volumes. A lot of coursework, a lot of chemistry, a lot of good stuff in there to help you, because the natural hygienic people pretty much tore it apart themselves. The thing where they fell off is considering herbs toxic. That was a big mistake from them, and that's okay, you know. But I found them to be just quite the opposite, and so did most animals on the planet. So where they get their information on that's ridiculous. However, you're going to find all kinds of deep levels to this, and all kinds of ideas of magnetics and energetics, and how much nutrition do we really need, or do we need any nutrition at all? Is it really about nutrition? Is it more about magnetics? I mean, there's a whole realm of thinking, and that's why in the class I brought you some of those old books. And anything by McFadden, well, not even McFadden, Raymond Bernard. One of my favorites, of course, is Professor Hotima, George Clements. These people were out there in their thinking, and there's so many of them like that. And I just love that. So this is the kind of thinking man should have perpetuated and went on and drop allopathy, because that's a dead-end street. That's a killing machine out of control. We've got to reform a whole world here. And I don't know whether that's got to shake some of the toxins off of it first. I don't know. But hope you do well in natural hygiene. They offer a good PhD course, if they still, in fact, are offering that. But just a lot of great information there in terms of the raw and the chemistry, and why not the proteins and stuff, and more accurate information than what's out there. But I am struggling with the starches often, and then I wonder, well, just remember the starches. This is all simply candida problems, fungal problems, and that's where the herbs come in and help with that, in breaking down some of that candida. Moving lymph, of course, will finally clean it all out of you, that sort of thing. Always going to have low levels of this just for fermentation factors. There's probably not many of us that don't ferment at one form or another. If you're eating meat, then you can add putrefaction to that list. Like Dr. McGougall and Campbell and so on are right. You know what? I don't know what these guys' theories are on this sort of thing, but either one of those people I don't really hold as real credible in terms of what they know about deeper tissue regeneration and stuff. Maybe you sometime could comment on this one, but I have to say that your videos... Oh, thanks, sweetheart. Thanks, Herman. You know what? Starches is just too much sugar. That's all starches are. It's just too much sugar, and we're meant for simple sugars, but complex sugars we're not. We're meant for simple fatty acids, but fats we are not. We're meant for amino acids, but proteins we are not. See what I'm saying? If you follow that line and understand that complex nutrition is not designed for the Homo sapien, nor most species in actuality, simplicity in digestion and absorption, bottom line to most functions of the cell, is energy. Because if you look at it, the cell, as apart from the mother, before it became the embryo and the fetus, as it was moving toward the embryo, it wasn't hooked up. So how does the energetics of that all happen? And that's what I'm saying. The power is in the cell. The power is in consciousness and energetics. And that's an area that's hard for man to comprehend, because he's still dragging his feet in the world of chemistry, and dead chemistry, I might add. Once we realize we got to quit sucking earth and dirt and zeolite stuff, and start getting into more refined magnetics and fine energy, it'll pick us up out of the earth and pick our consciousness up and allow you to expand your awareness and get out of the earthly diggings of the earth. Even the Native Americans didn't like to dig too deep. They didn't like to... I remember one mystic Indian was talking and made a comment in reference to they were trying to teach these Native Americans to put in gardens, and they said, "You want me to rip my mother's skin and dig her bones out?" So I thought it was pretty good. You know, it's like plant a tree, but, you know, that's a higher way of doing it. But, you know, I mean, it's all just creation. Nothing dies. It's all what it is. You know, it's just thought forms creating images, and those images are molecularly involved with atoms. And basically, an atom is a little unit of consciousness. Oh, this is Cooley, Mausis. Hey, man. Hi, guys. Just checked in to get your thoughts on cocoa-neutral. What is it? Cocoa-neutral? I've started using it now to kill unwanted bacteria in my gut. Thanks. Well, there's so much about the unwanted bacteria in the gut, isn't there? You seem to see a lot of that. I have to tell you that bacteria grows according to culturing mediums. And so it's all culturing medium is the problem, and that means that's your lymph and your gut and the type of food you're eating and the impactions on the wall and everything else. That's why you clean up the gut. If you're hyper-focused on bacteria, that's not what I would do, because you need it. It's only going to culture in the medium that'll culture it. So that's why you clean out all this rancid, putrefactive mucoid plaque on the wall. You get the lymph moving and all that, and then the proper bacteria for the food you're eating will culture just fine, and you won't have any problem. Trying to culture bacteria in a medium that doesn't culture it, or culturing the gnarly ones in a very corrosive medium, absolutely. It's all about the sewage in the human body, one way or another, whether it's impacted or just the lymph. So cleaning your body out would be much more conducive to getting your health back. You always want to have bacteria. Hey, man, German kelp. What is the connection with the liver and the spleen to bone marrow? Well, it's not so much to bone marrow as it is to red blood cells and keeping the blood clean. The blood cleans itself in the spleen, cleans it to the lymph system. The spleen is a lymph and blood organ, but it's a place where the blood refurbishes itself. And the liver, of course, is the chemical transmutation factories. So you have a lot going, and don't forget the adrenal connection to iron and things, which has then a connection to hemoglobin, which then has a connection to hematocrit. See, it all is interconnected. That's why you can go crazy trying to balance out your blood work, but it's so much better to focus on the health of it and get all these tissues healthy. The liver and spleen, the spleen deals with the platelets and stuff, but the bone marrow is where all the white blood cells and platelets are produced. But at the same time, the spleen is a place that the red blood cells are broken down and refurbished, cleaned. The blood cleans itself into the lymph system. So it's always good to have these two tissues cleaned up. I always go after these two specifically, and leukemias. These are the blood cancers. So I definitely clean up these two and go after the bone marrow as well. Absolutely. Anytime I come back to raw foods from a junk food trip. I know. I tell you what, though. This is Waltzing Matilda. Tilly. Funny name, but that's a long time since I heard that kind of comment. But oh, absolutely, and I think I admire you for admitting that trip from a junk food trip. I mean, this is just the human nature, and people have too much judgment out there. The people that make these junk food trips. I work with thousands of people around the world, and most of them make the junk food trips now and then. Just going to be a part of life. I don't beat anybody up for it. Are you kidding? We're healers. We know that. Some of us make junk food trips. I've done it. So what? But we know how to deal with it. We know how to fix ourselves and fix others. And so, you know, you can't be perfect all the time. If you are, that's good, but don't expect others to be, because then your ego gets out of line, and that's not good either, because there's no judgment here, man. We're just a bunch of God trying to be all these little individual pieces, trying to create its worlds of joy and happiness, or its worlds of sorrow and pain. It's all about the drama. And so don't get caught up in things that are unimportant in certain ways. What's important is you. And where are you? I mean, in the worlds of God, where are you? And do you know who you really are? And how much of that do you know? And are you happy? And are you giving to others? And are you, nirvanic? Are you experiencing more of the all? I get diarrhea and this bloated belly too. In fact, it's happening to me right now. Basically, it's your body trying to clear itself out of the waste and everything. Watch a video about detox effects. I'm sure it'll be helpful to you. Yeah, I mean, this is a comment. Yeah, that's the thing, is that, you know, your body, after you get more, maybe I use the word pure, but more pure and more pure, cleaner and cleaner, definitely vibrations of foods can kick you in the butt. But it's true, though, that there's times where the good food sometimes you just don't want. You're just, you know, it's taking you in another direction. But for the most part, if you watch yourself intuitively, once the body gets used to what's really good and what's really making it feel good and fix itself, then it'll intuitively want those. So I like intuitive eating in terms of fruits and berries and melons and salads. I like that intuitiveness, because then we're kind of listening, and we tend to start eating the foods that the body wants. There's no way. If we profess to know what the body wants and what the body needs, I think we're just out there a little further than we need to be, because there's no way we have that kind of brain power. And when you look at all the biochemists and you realize biochemistry is a world of disagreements, then I think you will understand why we talk that way. Let's see here. This is Milo Tori. I don't remember. I'm an old country boy, so forgive me there. But thanks for your comment there. Hi, Dr. Morris. I'm so thankful for your videos. Well, I appreciate you taking your time and watching them, and taking your time in your lives to get your bodies well, and then taking the time to enjoy the ecstasy of life. You know, buy flowers, look at beauty, climb mountains, go onto the beach. You know, start enjoying the beauty of things and the beauty of yourself, because each one of you are just beautiful, beautiful souls. I know some of you are in pain, some of you probably don't feel beautiful, some of you are angry. I know that. But let all this go and just get to the self again. Just enjoy the fact that you have consciousness, that you have the ability to see and know greater things than what you've done. Just expand yourself. That's what really is important here. When we end these videos like this, I'll start a whole line, and we'll focus predominantly on the spiritual growth of our team. But right now it's important to get this side of it. So far she has been on a monthly, recently my sister has been told by her oncologist, so she's got an oncologist, that answers that question, that she may be in early stages of cervical cancer. So far she has been on monthly vitamin B injections and is scheduled for surgery to remove cancerous cells at her cervix. In addition, doctors have removed her gallbladder 6 to 8 years ago. I have her fasting on grapes, and she just finished her detox kit 1-2. Can you please help me with direction to keep her healing? Any advice would be immensely appreciated. Absolutely. You know, just get that Heal All tea and start having her dish with that Heal All tea. And if she needs to know how, she can call Jennifer or one of the girls here, and they'll tell her. But really get that Heal All tea. Get that up into deep into that area, the female area, up to the cervix, and if you can, into the uterus as much as possible. Start cleaning there very aggressively. I'd probably douche twice a day. You could probably turn this around without need for surgery if you really wanted that. The second part of that is you want to do a lymphatic 1 capsule. I would probably do three times a day. Get honking on that. I definitely do kidney 1 capsules, maybe 2-3 times a day. I do stomach and bowel number 1 or 2, whichever one you need for proper movement and cleaning. I would definitely get into the adrenals, adrenal 160 glandulars maybe. After this weeks 1 and 2, stay on Parasite M for a while, get the fungus out. Do a liquid lymphatic, say lymph node 2, very strong. Right, I would do that. GI broom if you can handle that if we got it. But go that way. Get in the lymph, get in the kidneys. You want to do 1 lymph capsule, I would, and 1 lymph liquid. Get into the kidneys, make sure the kidneys are filtering, and go that way. But douche with some Heal All tea, and you should be able to get that quite well. Heal All tea has turned around a lot of cancer there, turned around those cells. Remember, cancer is a damaged, mutated cell, not a disease. And it's all about her lymph system. She could be estrogen dominant. If she is estrogen dominant, I would do the female reproductive formula. That female reproductive formula is a progesterone formula. In other words, it's an antacid formula. It might be wise for her to do that anyway, and it'll help to bring more progesterone to the party and not the estrogen. Estrogen to this party is not welcome. Thanks for the comment there. Angel Light 444, dear Dr. Morris, I have been so busy since my return from your course. It has been such a powerful and amazing. Thank you, sweetheart. I appreciate that. Amazing experience to meet you in person. Thank you so much. It was amazing to meet all of you for sure. I love that. I'm putting together level 2. We're going to need it. You know, I'm going to take you guys as far as I can, and then you can run with it. And to interact with your beautiful teach that. Well, thanks. Thank you. All the people that work for us are pretty nice, I think. Thank you for your knowledge, your passion, and love to all of us. I have been reading your book and love it. Hugs and kisses to you, Angel Light. I need to get a counselor down here. Tracy M. 1974. Hey, sweetheart. Dr. Muckers, I absolutely love the class. Thank you so much. I love you there, too. Thanks for coming, both of you guys. Thanks for all of you guys that come to the class. Thanks. Does my heart a little good. I do a video showing before and after iris pictures of some of your patients. You know, that's the sad thing about it, Tracy, is that I forgot. Gosh, I was just so involved in trying to make sure you all got what you needed. And then we ran out of time. We just didn't get to the protocols like we would have liked. I really wanted to run you guys through the protocols, so level 2 is going to have a tremendous amount of protocols. Just really need to get you guys really grasping this and tearing this apart. And I think most of you do. You know, most of you do it pretty well. But I wanted to bring some before and after eyes, and I just totally spaced it. And there's been some people here that have literally tore up the pavement, and the changes are like earth-shaking. Matter of fact, I tried to get her to pull a couple of them, and I'll try to show you on the YouTube here. Tremendous changes there. And unfortunately, I've got to pull off here so we can get this up, and then I'll try to get to the rest of these. But thank you so much. I love all of you. You guys at the class kicked butt. I appreciate you all there. I hope you had a good time. We've got a lot to teach you about working with others and stuff, but I think you guys are doing very well. I just love it. But we always run out of time because there's just so much to convey to you. But keep it simple. Always keep it simple. And I love you guys. You have fun today, okay? Word of the day, just be. Be pure love today. Just walk around being love today. Give love to all things. Everything you see, just give love to it. Don't think. Just give love to everything today. And I'm going to give my love to all of you. Okay, bye-bye now. Good morning, everyone. How are you doing today? I don't know. I just got up here. I don't know. I had to walk the dog, of course, every morning. And, you know, so I'm probably up about 6. The other morning I was up at 4 doing reports and stuff. The work never ends. But anyway, it's nice to be with you, and it's a pleasure always to be in amongst a bunch of spiritual giants like yourselves. And I want to get to these because I'm running a little late here this morning. So let's, there were some very good questions. You guys are asking some very good questions, and I like that. You guys over there on Facebook, keep it civilized. But, you know, by working this out between yourselves, you will become strong, and you will become committed. By the way, we have a little bit on the babe thing. 9 months, 4 days, juice fasting. 9 months, 4 days. This would be the 5th day. Amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Now, her eyes have a lot of lymph and a lot of sulfur, and that's what she's after, and she's doing just the right thing you need to do. And she is learning a lot about balance, and this is one thing she notices out there is the lack of balance and common sense. So, common sense, I don't know how to define that. My dad always used to pounded into me, or my grandfather, was raised by my grandfather. And common sense, and it's hard to explain what that is. I think common sense is a little bit of soul recognizing truth as opposed to the mind chattering on with illusions of grandeur and hypotheses and theories and things like this. So anyway, 9 months, 5 days. Well, she should have been dead by now, right? She's just eating the foods her body's designed to eat. She has a lot of energy. Her weight is stabilized. It has been stabilized, and and once she gets her malabsorption fixed, her weight will go up, muscle will go on the same juices she's on right now. She'll start gaining weight, believe it or not. Seen it a lot. All right, this is from Cool. I can get nutrition from honey water as well. As my question is, do I need TP, do some kind of fast to correct things, and what herbs would be good? P.S. If anyone else can give me any input to that would be great. Thanks for being. Oh, thanks, my friend. I don't know if I understand what you're asking here. Do I need TP to do... I'm not sure I know what you're talking about. But maybe it's just too early. Coming back to this world is a trip. Oh, hello. Oh, man. This has been flagged as spam. Oh, really? This is unit tutorials. Anyway, let's see. Also, I've had tendonitis. This is a continuation, I think, that's going on here. So forgive me. Yeah, here we go. So I got several things here. I don't know which one to start reading, Tom. Let me see here. So I got several things here. I don't know which one to start reading, Tom. Let me see here. I don't want to sound cheeky, bombarding you with questions, but I have a question about nut allergy. Ever since I was young, I have been allergic to nuts. I know I am allergic to peanuts, da-da-da-da-da. Well, when anyone's allergic to anything, just remember lymph, 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 lymph. Not blood, lymph, 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 lymph. And once you clean your lymph system real well, you won't be allergic to these nuts. But, it just shows that nuts aren't everything they were purported to be. And a lot of people are seeing the trouble they're having with them. I don't mind a few nuts. The problem is they can be overeaten real readily. Anything that's a protein is contraindicative to detoxification, of course. But outside of that, I've been known to gobble down pine nuts, pignolia nuts like crazy. That's a problem. They put on fat. But I love pine nuts and raisins, boy, I tell you. Just love them. A lot of good fatty acids. Also, I have tendonitis in my right ear for around 2 years. So the right side of your body, that would be where you're plugged up lymphatically speaking. And this you can attribute it to pressure, myelin sheath weakness. You can go on right down the line with this. It started in the summer and comes and goes, although it always there faintly. And that goes back to the lymph system and the pressures in the body in that way. You got to understand you have two fluids and you're going to have two types of pressure. Like glaucoma is a lymphatic pressure, not a blood pressure. It's the wrong kind of pressure. It's an acid pressure. Not good. I have been to the ear, nose, and throat department and my hearing is fine. Hello. Has nothing to do with here. I had an MRI scan which came back fine apart from a tiny cyst in the front part of my head. Now listen, that's evidence right there that your lymph system is at issue here. Tiny cyst, no big deal. Oh yes, it is a big deal. Tiny cysts can have tumors associated with them. So you want to just get your lymph system moving, clean up your GI tract, because this is something you want to take care of here. You don't want any cysts growing on the head or in the head. So definitely want to address your lymph system. That'll pop the pressure out. Is that cysts on the right side of the head? Just interesting if it is, how that is. Remember, you're bilateral. apparently could have been there since birth. Yeah, but things never stay the same. Don't ever think anything stays the same, because that's not true. Nothing in life ever stays the same. Everything is in constant flux. Nothing really static here. And so that really means that the potential for it to go bigger with, but you're also introduced to raw foods and taking care of yourself more, so that you could hold it there. But I would advise you get it out of there and get that pressure out of there, then your ringing in your ears will go away. I would love to attend one of, I'm hoping to go to Camp America in June or July, so I'll be in the States anyway. Any information on classes? September. I opened up a new class for September. I'm definitely going to do a level 2 with you guys, because we just need more time with these protocols. And you guys are really getting smartened up there quite a bit. So Tom, thanks for the input there. These are all part of the same thing there, so thanks, Tom. But get your lymph system moving, bro. Get those kidneys cleaned up, get the adrenals up and running. That'll increase myelin sheath integrity. It'll increase neurotransmitter production, which is how you do that. And then your steroids will balance out. Your lymph will start filtering through your kidneys, and you'll start draining. So the cysts will come out and the ringing will go away. But always remember to listen. Not only listen externally, but listen internally. One should become a listener and an observer. That's how you grow spiritually, because you have to break the thoughts, the thinking processes. I had a man in here yesterday, can't turn off his thinking. And what's funny, he flew down here from New York. He's an older guy. And I went more time than I should have with him, but trying to help him. And he walked away and just going to do the diet, I guess. And so he'll never, ever correct himself. Because this is and he'll never do the diet. Doesn't even want to do wrong. Wants to have a little salmon here and there. Well, you're never going to get well doing those things. It's a trip. It's a trip. We were talking about that yesterday, about grape juice fasting and grape fasting. It really isn't a fast. When you're eating grapes, you're not fasting. You're eating the food your body's designed to eat. It's not a fast. To a person that has a sad American diet, or a standard diet around the globe there, yeah, that's a fast. But to someone who knows the design of the human body, we know that it's just the food your body's designed to eat. Fasting would truly be the withdrawal of all foods. So we call it a juice fast, or a grape fast, or whatever we want there. But truly it's just eating the foods you're designed to eat. Let me see here. This is WIOLAGIEGIEL. Whoo! Man, Dr. Morse, my name is Violetta. Wow, beautiful name. Tough for us country boys. You're wonderful too, dear. Appreciate the coming in and enjoying the site here. I have a question. I juice all day long. I absolutely love it. I eat only 1 meal a day. That's smart. It isn't always raw. I more enjoy drinking juices than eating. Is it a bad thing? No, well, not really. Even juice alfalfa, that's my favorite in terms of the greens. That's the most powerful food, I think, out there, one of them. Am I consuming too much sugar? Heck no. These are simple sugars, It's true, when you juice, you really compact there. And if you have candida, they probably enjoy that, because then you probably, if you have weak adrenal glands, that would be too much sugar for the body to metabolize. But simple sugars go a long way. So I don't know. If you have good adrenals, nah. Please help. I am suddenly scared of my orange, something of my orange juice. I am slim, 115 pounds, 5'4". I juice oranges. There's nothing wrong with juicing these foods. Carrots could be a little sweet because they're already a little starchy. And you might look at an orange being sweeter than a carrot, but actually a carrot has more sugar than an orange. I juice oranges, beets, celery, like carrots. Sorry for misspelling your last name. It's that time I wrote to you. It's all right. It's all right. Nothing in a name. It's not the name that matters, is it? But if you're slim and too slim, you might be malabsorbed there, dear one. So I would just get after my lymph system and clean up my gut, my GI tract, get my kidneys and adrenals up, and keep going. Sounds like you're doing marvelous, darling. Sounds great. There's no books really written on this. I mean, we've written them, but To tell you the truth, nobody's over anybody with a club. You do the best you can. You move in and out. Those that tear it apart, I appreciate you guys, because those are the ones that get the deepest and they learn the most. And those make the best healers, no question. You don't make a good healer if you have never done this on your own. And I see this with all these graduates from these naturopathic schools. They're taught supplements and treatments of symptoms and things, and I think it's just so sad that these poor people waste their time and money in these colleges, and then they go out, they don't know how to cure anybody. People load, I had that experience yesterday again, another naturopath, another bunch of supplements, a lot of money. So this guy's coming to me, he's already taxed out with finances, and he's still in trouble. And that's the sad thing that I see going on here in our field, the natural health field. This is just another reason I'm doing these YouTubes and trying to get you guys up to speed as being good healers, because we're going to overshadow these poor people, and hopefully they will change and come to us and start learning how to really heal people. But and it's not an arrogant statement. It's simply factual. I just constantly get people in here from other naturopaths, and it disgusts me that naturopathy has been overshadowed by naturopathic medicine, only to discredit naturopathy because naturopathic medicine sucks. Dr. Morris, this is to add to previous question. I tried juicing the fruits today, and boy, did it make a difference. Suddenly, I had energy for the first time in ages, and this is cool again. Now, you mentioned a lady with malfunctioning pancreas in a video in November last year, I think. She then was on her 35th day of a juice fast due to pancreatic problems, and initially she couldn't tolerate any supplements. Could that be the way for me? Yeah, absolutely. I also tried some parsley with apple juice, and that gave my stomach pain. Wow. Yeah, you might want to go to the fruit side. And this is another thing you understand in healing. And there's a good question coming up here, I think, in terms of endurance. As a matter of fact, why don't I address that now? Because it kind of fits with this. These are some good questions here. This is Organic Superman. Excuse me. What is the best food to consume during endurance sports, events like marathon and Ironman? Well, to a point, and you realize this is about energy. So the first thing about energy is the more you connect spiritually with who you are, and the more you get away from the mind, and the more you become who you really are, the more energy you'll have. No question about that. So, in terms of activity, of any muscle or any cellular involvement, and just keep this in mind. If you said, what is the main cause of dis-ease? If you said, what is the main cause of dis-ease, one word could pop up, and that one word may be called obstructions. Obstruction to the flow of energy causes dis-ease. You could call it blood flow, that's an energetic flow. You could call it lymph flow, that's an energetic flow. You could call it nerve flow, that's an energetic flow. Everything is energetic flows and magnetisms. This is how all life is. It corresponds and relates and takes on and interchanges. So it's obvious when you're getting ready to do a long run or any kind of activity, you want all the energy on board. So first thing, good adrenals. Really key to neural function, because nerves make everything happen. So it's key. So I would really be working on the adrenals, particularly previous to that. And before that, I'd pop 2 or 3 probably adrenal glandulars and really get that up. A lot of my people use the God's blend, the superfood blend, and pump that especially. But one of the biggest things is keep too much digestion away from you. You don't want your energy going to digestion, because you'll have a lot less for your muscles. And if you demand too much of that energy away from the gut, then you'll get the fermentation and putrefaction. So really, the less you eat, the better you're going to have more energy, more endurance, and you're going to kick butt. And that's just the way it is. And I think it was Stanford. It could have been another university. This has been years ago. I think they did, geez, don't quote me because I just can't remember. But they took, I was thinking, something like 30 or 40 athletic modules, and from deep knee bends to pull-ups to chin-ups to all types of modules athletically. And they went out and they took a cross between a natural hygienist, a vegetarian. I think they even got a fruitarian. They got a bodybuilder, an athletes, just lay people. And what they did is they looked at the athletic ability of each one of those in relationship to their particular diets. And let's take deep knee bends for example, because I just happen to remember that one. Let's say where the lay person could do 30 or 40 deep knee bends, the athlete could do up to 50 or 60. The natural hygienist did about 100. But the fruitarian, what was interesting in most modules, the fruitarian did like 250 deep knee bends. In other words, it showed in every case almost that the fruitarian outdid everyone else. And I thought that was a pretty good study. Now, this goes back in the 70s, I believe that study was done. So that's quite a ways back. So you might be able to find that study somewhere and bring me up to speed with it. But I have so much stuff through the years here, just packed and stored away, that I couldn't even begin to tell you. It's just so many things, and maybe they'll start coming out here that I've been involved in there. But for more endurance, less digestion. And this goes back to anyone having digestive problems. You definitely like the fruit because of the ease of digestion. You're going to get your carbon for your ATP. You're going to get your flavonoids for the vascular integrity. You're going to get your astringents to keep the lymph system moving. You're going to get the magnetics to keep the nervous system moving. And you could just go on and on and on. So this is the beauty of it. And especially for a Homo sapien, that is going for endurance. If you're going for muscle building, then pump the greens, no question. And alfalfa would be at the top of my list for pumping muscle on, no question. But detox first. Always detox first in that vein. This is a site for detoxification. But in terms of endurance and bodybuilding, when you remove obstructions out of the body, then you remove the resistance. And when you remove the resistance, energy just flows more. And in electrical work, you're always looking at resistances, and you're always looking at these sort of things. And so the same thing applies physically. So I'll say this, if you're getting ready for a real long run, then I'd pump on some green juices maybe, and maybe some like superfood blend there a little bit. But if for a shorter run, I wouldn't have anything in there. You'll find, and there's someone just wrote a book about it, and I was talking to another lad yesterday about this, and he was saying that this person felt that you up to so many miles that nothing, because everything in there would start digesting and slow you down a bit. So it's just, again, removing these obstructions out of the human body and having blood and nerve and lymph flow real well. Come on in.
Can I interrupt you in about 10, 15 minutes?
Yeah.
On top of that sickle cell anemia, the 22-year-old with a stroke, the father. Remember I told
Sickle cell anemia had a stroke?
Yeah, she's like 22. She's with a
She's 22 years old? Holy crap.
Can we talk about that?
Yeah, we can talk about that.
It's like 10 minutes.
On the YouTube or outside of that? A phone?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll talk to her. Okay, thanks, honey. Jesus criminy. A friggin' 22-year-old that just stroked. Phew. Jesus Christ. But in digestive issues, you want to make sure that you're on a light diet. Take the pancreatic capsules just in case, my friend, and also clean up the liver a little bit. It wouldn't hurt. And get into that GI tract. Spend some time with that. I'd do a stomach and bowel if it was me. I would do a lymphatic 1 capsules, probably 2 or 3 times a day if it was me. And I would certainly get on the GI broom and clean that up. Little pancreatic capsules 2, 3 times a day I would do to perk up my pancreas, get my digestion back, and keep it light like that. Keep moving your lymph system, because that inevitably is how you destroy or break down tissue, whether it's pancreatic, liver, heart, doesn't matter. Even on the genetic side of that. Great stuff. What is the best food to consume during endurance? Okay. Yeah, you don't want to consume any heavy meals. You'll see that in your life. It's obvious. Get away from the digestion. And for you older folks, you should live on fruit. For a senior citizen, a fruit diet is key to longevity, keeping the mind sharp and the nervous system moving well, keeping the kidneys from failing, and keeping your lymph system moving. So you cannot, as you retire, eat the way you did when you were young. As a matter of fact, all the young people are realizing that, and they can't eat that way even in their young. So just something to help you out there. Thank you, ALYCIA West, Alicia West. Thank you, dear. How much water should we drink? If 4 liters is too much, when thirsty. When thirsty. That's my best answer to that. Because if you're a raw foodist eating a raw food diet, you're getting plenty of water. And remember, hydration isn't a water experience. If your lymph system isn't filtering through your kidneys, you can drink all the water you want. You're going to bloat up and carry too much water. And I've talked about this many times on here, and how I gave you a case of how a medical doctor killed one of my clients by giving her too much water. She was a Lou Gehrig's case that we were pulling out of it. Remember I told you she was locked like this? And we have a film of her unlocking. Just an incredible case. Unreal to see. For those that don't believe in tissue regeneration, this case will blow your mind because we have it all on film. And we needed to get a bigger feeding tube in her, and clean one, you know. And the medical doctors made a comment to her caregiver, well, she suffered too much, and ordered, I don't know, 500 cc's of water every hour or something. Well, drowned her, killed her. And it just be careful, you know. Just be careful. I've seen a lot of things in my life. I've seen a lot of people. I'll just tell you what I see. Theories are theories. Dr. Morris, this is Organic Superman again. Hey, bro. I have my dad on. Oh, that's good, man. Proud of you, bro. He's dad on raw fruits and juices. He's doing well on them, feeling good. However, prior to this, he had osteoarthritis. He has had 1 hip replacement and 1 ankle fused. I fear this and other good hip is not starting to become affected by OA. I also believe arthritis does in most cases spread throughout the body. What can I do to slow it down? The process, thanks. This is very important to me. David from Scotland. David from Scotland, arthritis isn't a disease that's creeping all through him. This is his lymph system, which is all through him, and is not filtering well through his kidneys. This again goes back to a kidney and adrenal gland problem. Now with your dad being your dad, with the kidneys and all that, he runs the risk of prostate problems, so have his PSA checked, lower back, you know, all the standard stuff that goes with the kidney weakness. But this is all about acids and the body's response to that. The acids, of course, deals with the pain and that sort of thing, but it's the response of removing calcium out of joints or connective tissue to fight that, creating bone spurs and the like, calcifications. So if he wants to save the other hip, he's got to get his kidneys filtering, because that's the end all of this whole thing. He's got to get his kidneys filtering his lymph system, then he'll be able to save, and any deterioration of that hip he can rebuild. Keep in mind, parathyroid and thyroid gland in terms of calcium utilization by the human body. Make sure his thyroid and parathyroid glands are up, functioning good, because in this case you want that or you can't rebuild. If your parathyroid isn't giving you enough parathormone, you're not going to rebuild. And we like calcitonin too. And if we don't produce enough of those, we are not going to rebuild appropriately. And especially we're not going to rebuild in an acidic medium, which is what's causing this in the first place. So you've got to address causative factors. Always address causative factors and you'll be fine. Like all these cases that we're dealing with, we have to go back and address why this poor girl stroked, or why this person has a tumor, or why your dad has osteoarthritis. And what is that? I mean, so it's going right back to understanding the body's nothing but a bunch of cells, 2 major fluids, blood and lymph. The lymph is a lipid-based fluid dealing with the acid control of the human body, and the blood dealing with the base control of the human body. Basically, I mean, you can tear it apart and argue in all kind of ways, but in reality, if you kept it simple, that would be the bottom line to it. and that the lymph system filters through the kidneys with the help of the adrenal glands sitting right on top of them. If that isn't taking place and the lymph system isn't filtering, we have acidosis, or their word inflammation, which in turn revokes the response of cholesterol and calcification, or calcium. Those two are the body's main antacids. Keep that in mind. Oh, it'll jerk any type of base chemistry. Sodium can start going down. Chlorine, you can see your base chemistry being chewed up in the body. But calcium and cholesterol are the first two lines of defense. But if you get him, David, from Scotland, your dad will be able to save that and his prostate, because I can tell you if he's losing his hip, he's losing his prostate, whether he realizes it or not. If he has weak adrenals and low testosterone levels, that could save his prostate, but then it would make his life not as pleasurable. Bonnie Jean, Tig. Hi, Dr. Morris. I just watched a just-released video today from Dr. Mercola with UCLA researchers. Boy, does that sound really big, doesn't it? Say we should eat no more than 25 grams of fructose a day. This would be no more than 1 apple and 1 cup of grapes or 4 oranges. Oh, James, are you dead yet? Oh, dang, man, I never seen a guy eat so many grapes. He should have really been dead by now. Feels pretty good. Oh, wait a minute. Whoa, we got a lady on 9 months, 4 days, so why is she still alive? You know, this bull crap. UCLA researchers, they make me want to puke. There's a bunch of nimnutties. Same with Dr. McCullough, no offense, but when you come out with bullshit like that, come on, man. You need to go to school again or just give up and go somewhere else, because you're giving misinformation to the world, and that's not good anymore. People like you are giving bad information and shouldn't be out there anymore. Stop it. You know what? You have no understanding of health whatsoever. So people love this Dr. Mukoa. I don't know. You better rethink that. These are the people that get people in trouble all the time. So, you know, no offense to Dr. McCullough, but you get online with what, if you're not at this level right now, you don't cure nothing, and you're not helping anybody, and you're just getting people stuck in ridiculous concepts that make them UCLA researchers. Wow, cool, scary. You know, same people that research all this crap and don't know their head from a hole in the ground. I tell you, it's disgusting to hear some of this crap sometimes. No offense. But let's see Dr. McCullough pull this young lady, 22 years old, out of a stroke. If grains are bad, explain old Japanese people living on rice, vegetables, and fish. Explain old Greeks living on bread and vegetables. Explain how low cancer rates in the generation that lived on potatoes exclusively during the war. Young and your Bobby McGee. I like that. Dear one, there is nothing healthy about a grain. Not going to kill you, but it will keep you fattened up and sugar problems. There's nothing healthy about it. People have lived on them, but they haven't lived up into the 200s on them. They might have survived into their 80s or 90s. That just comes from strong genes. So you're given a point. I know a lot of these people, and they're not figures of health. So don't have to explain it. There's nothing healthy about a grain whatsoever. Take those same people, put them on a raw food diet, and you're going to double their longevity. Put those same people on a fruitarian diet, and you're way up there. You know, we assume 80 and 90 is longevity. I don't at all. Not when Dr. Jensen's talking to a 165-year-old Russian. And yes, people live. Charlie Smith up here in Bartow, Florida, he lived to be 120 on oranges, sardines, and crackers. Good, strong constitutions, you know, non-stressful lives, absolutely. But that same person on a raw food diet could live to 200, and on a fruitarian diet, maybe 3. You don't know. But to make claims that these people are healthy because of their grain diets, that's crazy. There's nothing healthy. We know that in animal work. You don't give grains to animals. And then they explain this. How come all the dog food companies are yanking the grains out of dog foods, right? The cancer rate was real high, so now they're yanking the grains out. Take a look at that. Grains are acidic. So just take a look at that from a different perspective. And that will be your answer, dear one. You and your Bobby McGee. I'm totally on board with the alkaline versus acid part, but chemotherapy saved my brother. Oh, did it. And every year more and more cancer patients get well due to treatment. Boy, you got your head where it doesn't shine. I'll just tell you that, Bobby McGee. You have no clue to what you're talking about. If your brother survived it, good. Good. There are 6% of the people that take it survive it. How do you explain 94% that die? Oh, but we'll keep going and get a better therapy, and in time, that number could be 80% that die instead of 94%. Get out of here. That's crazy. This must be an oncology nurse. Because let me tell you, you're barking down the wrong tree here, dear one. This is insane. This is criminal. And you might have 2 or 3 survive it. If your brother survived that, we could have cleaned him up like that. There's a big difference between the level that this is at. Now, at least 90% of the people here that go on these diets that come in here with cancer and they go after their health issues walk out without it. So 94% don't walk out of it when they do chemo. Explain that one. So you don't go there with me with the chemo because you have no clue. I see thousands and thousands of people worldwide, and I can tell you that the bulk of the people are not going to be on your side of the fence, dear. Not at all. You have a very minority that survives this to 5 years. But just wait. Your brother did nothing to fix the problem, and just wait to the future. That's why he needs to get a hold of this now and get his body's lymph system cleaned up, and then he probably will never have to deal with it. But you've never done anything, and you've killed billions of cells. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. You can't go any way with me with chemotherapy, dear, because that's been my specialty for 40 years, and our reputation precedes us with that. In Norway, number of survivors have increased dramatically. Oh, really? 2 out of 3 people diagnosed with cancer get well now. Oh, do they really? With chemo? I doubt it very seriously. I think you're smoking something in the back room. What the hell is wrong with you? The doctors are evil people. They are lifesavers. Yeah. You definitely need to just stay with allopathy and leave this website because you have no clue. Your statements are bogus. Your statements hold no water. I don't know who you are, what game you're playing here, but you have no clue. You're making statements that are very untrue. I've spent a lot of years in emergency medicine, dear one. I know well allopathy, and my ex-wife is a cardiac nurse. I know well about this. You don't. And this is bull. Medical doctors are not evil. They're just unaware and ignorant. And those that become aware and still kill people with this, now they're evildoers. Because you don't do that. That's not how God intended the earth to be. And your life is too much allopathy. Well, you go out and enjoy it. Go ahead. The people on this site already have been there, and they're now leaving there. So that statement you're making is not going to convince anyone. Not at all. Because we have tens of thousands of people worldwide that are suffering and been to all the best doctors in the world. That statement you made is so ridiculous, I can't even believe you made that. And especially on this site. That is ridiculous. You haven't had enough experience with the allopath, so I suggest you stay there for a while. Enjoy that side of life, and we'll enjoy our side of life. And then when you get awakened, you'll see the difference. Hi, Dr. Morse. This is NXY. Oh, hello there, dear one. Hi, Dr. Morse. I have a question about glandulars because I was reading somewhere that adrenal glandulars are okay for mild adrenal fatigue, but not for severe. No, I think it's the opposite. In mild adrenal fatigue, I can use the herbs, and we do pretty well with that. But when we have extreme or chronic cases, we go to the glandulars because it's the only thing that can help in any type of timely manner. And some people's adrenals are just fried, just crashed. And so they've got to deal with that. And so the glandulars are very good for that. What is your take on this? How can you tell if it's severe anyway? Well, I would say this, that if your blood pressure is high or your blood pressure is below, let's say 110, you're getting toward chronic. Anything below 100 is chronic blood pressure, chronic low adrenals. That systolically we're talking about here. And that can be very problematic. Some of the young chaps are, not some, most of them are getting 80s and 90 systolic readings here. Extremely low, low, a lot of fatigue, a lot of tiredness. Thanks, NXYS. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But no, I would definitely use glandulars in chronic cases and not in mild cases. Herbs can do quite well in mild cases in diet and things like that. But it's also watching your stats, whether it's your basals or whether it's your blood pressures or whatever, and your own energetics, and see how all that plays in there. Boy, this statement got me. I don't know who the hell you are. This statement got me. Unbelievable. Still tremendous amount of unawareness there. I wish these kind of people could sit here and listen to what I have to hear. I love that. I love that. Oliver World. I have a question for you. A childhood friend of mine had a terrible shock about a week ago. Her daughter, who is around 14, fell off a swing and broke her neck. Oh, crap. Oh, my God. 14 years old and fell and broke her neck. She's in hospital and still has a breathing tube in. She has regained feeling good down to her toes but cannot move them. I'm considering sending her some herbs. Get her on the new brain and nerve number 2. Get her on the brain and nerve number 2. Is she on?
No, you got like 5 minutes before your 10 o'clock comes in, though. Can we get...
Yeah, let's call this girl now.
Okay, it's her father.
Oh, it's her father? You want to have the father call in online, and I'll end this now, and we'll talk to him?
Sorry.
Okay, no, it's okay. Jesus, 22-year-old stroke. Oh, she should go to the medical doctors. They can help rebuild stroke people, right? Give me a break. Rebuild stroke people. They don't know how to regenerate tissue at all, but they're lifesavers. You must spend some time in the emergency rooms and see what we can't do in allopathy. Maybe you ought to do that. They're lifesavers. You guys on YouTube are the lifesavers. I want you guys to know that. This person is out of balance. This person has no clue. They live in a surreal world where, oh my God, medical doctors are saving lives. Oh yeah, well, you haven't read the stats, have you? Last year in this country, 1 million people died at the hands of allopathy physicians. 1 million. None from naturopathic physicians. Oh, well, they're just saving lives, aren't they? You don't even know what you're talking about. I hate to even mess with people that are like that level anymore. It's just not even worth thinking about. Okay, so I'd use the upper circ, brain and nerve. Upper circulation, brain and nerve. Okay, those are 2 major formulas. I'd also use the bones formula for rapid healing. And kind of detoxify her a little bit. Get her kidneys up, get her adrenals up, so the steroids are up. A little adrenal glandular would go a long way. If she's got a feeding tube, obviously, then we can put everything, break it down and put it up the feeding tube, and then you'll rapidly regenerate the nervous system and any damage, and you'll get the inflammation out. Remember, the lymph has to repair, so you have to put her on lymphatic 1, maybe liquid, a kidney liquid, and just get that lymph moving. It'll repair that. Then the nervous system will rebuild, and you'll pull her back out of that, to be honest with you. Okay, I've got to run here. I'm sorry to read your other one here, but you go after that young one, and she'll be okay. I've got to deal with this poor this father whose daughter's stroked out here at 22 years old. But why doesn't he call the Allopaths? Huh? All right. Thank you, guys. Sorry you had to hear that. Love you all. Be strong. There's a lot of people out there that still believe in the bull crap that the medical doctors are doing some kind of good deeds around the world, and to have a clue to what's really going on out there. You guys do. Keep your health, keep your wisdom, enjoy yourself today, and have fun, and keep it raw. And let's go out and heal a lot of poor suffering souls, okay? I've got one right now, and I got to run. Bye-bye now. Love you all. Namaste. Oh, good morning, everyone. How are we? Are we doing good today? I'm trying to pop these out here and get caught up here a little bit, so I said I'm going to try to come in here every morning and communicate with my favorite Homo sapiens in this galaxy. So thank you all so much. I hope you're having fun and your light's shining bright and you're going out there knocking them dead. A lot of you don't give up, don't give up hope. You know, working with others is a real trip. A lot more than people realize. And you see from the last video just a lot of concepts or ideas, even from other countries, in terms of still people believe in allopathy, and they just don't have an inkling or a clue to what's really going on. Those of you that have been to multiple medical doctors and then have come to us, which is pretty much classic, knows how that is. This is people need to wake up to serious issues here, and it's like Michael J. Fox and created his Parkinson's Foundation. Even though he said he's open, he is not open to other things, and someday the medical profession will find a cure. I just want to throw up when I hear people talk that way, because this just shows extreme ignorance in today's world. So, I don't know, maybe that's always the case. There's always the unconscious and the conscious in creation at all levels. One master once told me, you can't be completely conscious at this level, you burn your body right up. I believe that. I've had experiences of the high God states, and felt my body was starting to burn. Anyway, good questions coming up. You guys are really hitting on. Let me cover some, because some of them was real important this morning. This is a repost. So on reposts, I'm gonna address these. This is Claire Bear. I saw some bears, Claire Bear. Hi, Dr. Morse. My father gets migraines all the time. Now listen to this. His neck, shoulder, lower back, and knees are always achy. So immediately, you know it's a lymph system. Very few times it's going to be the blood, no matter what tissue, whether it's his thyroid, whether it's his sinuses, his stomach. These are all places for migraines, by the way. Stomach, sinus pressure, thyroid, all these places. Neck, cerebellum, all these things. So, but it's all the lymph system. And this is the case right here. Her dad's just backed up here. Well, this is on top of the tree, the trunk, which is the GI tract, and then you got the kidneys. So real important to clean up the bowels and get the kidneys filtering. He busted his knee running marathons and crashed on his head countless times from bicycle racing and horse racing. Dad, man, you going to give this up after a while? How much you need your butt kicked, man? I've been thrown some horses before myself. He has bone spurs, pain all up and down his occipital, it's too early, nerve. In his neck, he's sick of being in pain, but hesitant that raw foods and herbs can heal his neck, because there are literally places of broken bone in there. Dad, you got to get with it. What creates healing in the body? I mean, you have to get to the two sides of chemistry. Even though you have trauma, trauma always creates acidosis. It's up to the body's lymphatic system to clean that trauma, those damaged cells, and all that implies, all the chemistry involved in that. Clean all that out. The blood just brings the chemistry in, to help heal these areas. But it's the lymph that has to clean the areas. If the lymph can't move these wastes out and these acids out of these tissues, and if you already had problems moving lymph and you already had lymphatic problems, you're not going to heal well. And if you have fractured bones, the body will try to expel them out the skin, but you have to heal or rebuild that bone structure. The body will disintegrate bone after a while, but I've seen pieces of bone come out of people during detoxification, easy. But why would you be concerned that raw foods wouldn't heal the body? Cooked foods will. Proteins will. Proteins don't heal crap. Matter of fact, that's the illusion that's out there, that proteins heal. You might need some amino acids for repair and stuff, but you eat a high protein diet, you'll never heal. Look at the experiment offered by Arnold Arid and even myself. As a matter of fact, I was talking to another guy who's a high fruitarian, and they went to check his blood and he wouldn't even bleed. And that's the issue. When you get way up there, you not only don't bleed when you cut yourself, you rapidly, and I'm talking rapidly, within a day to 2 days at most, heal. If you don't believe it, then you try it and you disprove it. You can't sit there and say, no, this doesn't work, without you trying it, because then your idea of it wouldn't work wouldn't hold any water. You can have opinions, but opinions are worthless. They're just opinions, and they hold no facts. But when you wear the robe and you do the program and you don't have results, and you can say, well, it didn't work for me. But until then, opinions are basically worthless. But if you want to fix yourself, you need to listen to your daughter here or son. He is seriously considering getting some shot of steroids right into the nerve in his neck, which will numb the nerve. That is not normal. What should... Well, you know, pinched nerve and nerves like this, highly inflamed nerves, are definitely very painful. I would definitely use the brain and nerve formula #2. At the same time, I'm sure he's been to chiropractors, but make sure that you're not pinching any nerve here. Any damage there has to be repaired, and before you can repair damage, you've got to move lymph. It's people. You have to go back and review these videos about what causes the destruction of cells outside of trauma, of course. What breaks down tissue, and then when you have trauma, what cleans up the mess. And when you get that, and you understand that, and you understand what side of chemistry predominantly the body needs to be on in a hydrated state, and what makes healing, which side of chemistry is the healing side of chemistry predominantly. It isn't the acid side, and that's what trauma creates acidosis. And then probably on top of already acidosis, stiff, tight up here, you're not going to heal. I don't care who you go to. You're not going to heal because the body can't heal in an acidic medium. So real important that your dad get a hold of that and go down that road, or he'll just suffer. How do you feel about eating 30 bananas a day? Go for it. Doc, I washed my hands with your Parasite M formula. Now I have sweaty palms. It's been over a month now, and I can't seem to get them back to their original state of non-sweating. Well, if you're sweating aggressive, I don't know if Parasite M did that or not. If it did, wow, it started opening up a flow there. Remember, your largest cells here is your hands and your feet, and of course that's where you tend to sweat. You tend to sweat around lymph nodes and your hands and feet, and the reason is what is the skin in the first place? The body's third kidney. This tells me that your kidneys are not filtering well, and now you've opened up this port, so to speak, and this is what happens in black salve cases too. When you start pulling a tumor out, that's okay. The problem is that the reason that you have a tumor is your lymph system isn't filtering through your kidneys. When that happens, then pulling a tumor out just does nothing but open up a door. And now, since the kidney door is closed, wherever you cut yourself, wherever you have a tumor and pull it out, wherever there's an opening, that's a port. The body takes full advantage of these things. Remember, the body's a very wise organism, and it does that. I don't know if Parasite M did that, but that's pretty cool. The fact that you're sweating from your palms definitely indicates weak kidney on that side, or on both sides. But yeah, you could do some hot and cold applications in the hands, you know, put some real ice water, real hot water, and go back and forth and do some hydrotherapy there. Might help you. Get on the lymphatic formulas and the kidney formulas. That'll be better for you in that way there, my man. You guys are pretty interesting, trying these formulas in every way. I find that quite interesting. But sounds like you were backed up in your hands lymphatically, and that just opened that up for you. 303, hi honey, this is bad. Dr. Morris, advice please. Quite nasty cat bite. Well, whenever you have cat, snake, spider, anything like that, load up on the lymphatics and kidneys right off. You can do the Parasite M, of course, no question about that. It's a good idea. And topically, you could put the Heal-All tea. You know, make some Heal-All tea and use the tea shavings and put yourself a poultice on that. That'll really help heal that, draw that out of there, and heal that up. That's what I would do. I'm out of my Heal-All salve, but that's same herbs, but very excellent for healing up things like this. But internally, yeah, you want to kick up on that lymphatic. That's for poisons, lymph, tumors, all those things like that. Rattlesnake bites, black widow bites, recluse spider bites. Absolutely. We get recluse spider bites in here all the time. Medically, it's a nightmare. They come in generally after they've been to the hospital, and it's horrible. And we just clean them right up. It's like that lady in the news that she's being consumed by flesh-eating viruses or bacteria. Boy, I'd like to have that case. I'd really like, but you'd never get in on that case. They've cut off her leg, something else. They're probably cut off her fingers. They cut off part of her torso. That's interesting. That's why I can tell you that it is so important to get yourselves healthy today, because we're creating some mutants out there, and the condition of people's cells right now and the toxicities in the body, humans are just trash garbage dumps physically. These physical bodies are nasty. We've insulted the Supreme Being big time in terms of what we got and how we took care of it. Immaturity of the mind at this level. It will mature, I suppose, as time goes down the road, but whew, is it slow. I guess to the annals of infinity, several thousand years is nothing. Don't want to go to the hospital because they'd only give me antibiotics. Well, you can take the Parasite M as an antibiotic, but just use that lymphatic formula, use a poultice of the Heal All Tea, and that should clean that right up there. Applied a couple of poultice of plantain comfrey. Okay, this is good. No, this is good. No, and a bit of cleavers and bilberry. No, that's an excellent take, dear. Yeah, excellent take. Did some good, but some infection still remains. We'll go internally now. Go internally. You can use the blood formula. You can use the blood formula. You can use the lymphatic 1 formula liquid and use the kidney 1 liquid. That'll help clean that right up. Beautiful choice of herbs, though. Love them all. Plantain, the #1 for cat bites, rattlesnake bites. Excellent. You can take raw plantain, bruise it, put it on there. Comfrey, one of my favorites. Echinacea, definitely okay. I like it. Angustifolia, better. Golden seal, my favorite, of course. Black walnut hull, perfect. Burdock, another great. There's so many great herbs in nature. You go, oh my God, that's my favorite. Oh no, that's my favorite. Oh no, that's my favorite. You know, that's the problem with herbs. Someone asked me, well, which herb would you take on an island by yourself? Jiminy Christmas, probably golden seal. But I mean to tell you, how could you do that? That's like picking one fruit out of all the fruits on the planet that would be the best. Holy crap. That's torture in itself. Did some good, but some infection. I'm currently in week 3 of your detox. We'll keep on going there. Also, I've been sucking down high qualities of alfalfa cow. Boy, you guys are pretty smart. This is exactly what you, beautiful. Exactly what you do. You're doing everything perfectly. Let time be the master there. But the longer something like that takes to heal, I will tell you that'll be a clue to your toxicity levels. Always case, and just like the father there, the higher the toxicity, in other words, the less you're moving your lymphatic system, the more toxic and acidic you become, the lot longer it takes to heal from these type of bites. That's why it's always good to clean the human body up as much as possible for the future on this planet. Ooh, but good 303. Good job there. You're doing well. Just you could kick up the lymphatics, get the blood formula and the kidney formula. You could pick that up 1 dropper full 4 or 5 times a day, or every 2 or 3 hours, quite frankly. You can kick it up. When you have some stat need for something, you can kick these herbs up 4 or 5 times a day, every 2 or 3 hours. Absolutely. Absolutely. You can go much more aggressive about this. Absolutely. This is another repost here. I am trying to clear GI tract of yeast buildup and parasites. Well, okay, but don't get overshadowed that that's a causative factor of everything. This is some of the problems out there that I see, is that you have some books that blame every symptom in the world on yeast. Everything's a candida problem. You know, I just love these kind of people because they're just way out there. They don't have a clue. And so they blame everything on one thing or something. Hilda Clark was bad about that. And I felt she was just so off point. But, you know, everybody made the zapper and everybody went after that. But the problem is that you can't kill the messengers. You've got to go deeper in your understanding of why you're creating a good culturing medium. You're going to always have a culturing medium for bacterium because that's the sewer system, and your body has to have your sewer system working well, or that's why the word diseases are promoted by the allopathic community. We know it as simply toxicity and acidosis. But you know, let them use the fancy words because they just keep getting deeper in the woods and can't find their way back home. And they need to. So, easy, and taking Parasite M&G capsules And you only need to do it a month or two. If you don't see any worms or flukes, you're good, especially after a month or two on Parasite G, because you're going to kill about everything, and the eggs are going to recycle in that period of time, so you should be able to get that. You're not going to clear Candida completely out of the body until you get your lymph system in a better way. If you feel like Candida is a problem in your body, then two things. Remember, the adrenal glands and sugar metabolism, so stay away from all starches, get your adrenal glands up. Use Parasite M to help control the overgrowth of yeast, and at the same time move lymph. Especially if you have fungus in the toenails and fingernails, you got to move lymph to be 100% successful. You can kill it and bring it down, but to be 100% successful, the lymph is the key, always. And it keeps coming back to that, but you know what? There's a human body, again, bunch of cells, two fluids, blood and lymph. What more do you have to look at? I mean, there's not more in there. And of course, the morphology of a cell is totally dependent upon the environment of the pH, the environment of solutions. And that's why we get to acids and what that does to solutions in the environment. And of course, the word corrosive comes into mind. So stiff, tight, decay, all acidosis. I'm a musician and can't play. Oh, wow. Let me see here. I have faintness and fatigue as a result of Epstein-Barr. All right. Now, Epstein-Barr, very easy viral to get out of the body. It goes much deeper than this, man. This is medical thinking. And this is, again, much deeper than that. Your adrenals are down. If you have a lightheadedness and stuff, it's going to be your cerebellum here. That's your lymphatic system again. Eczema is out of control. That's the lymphatic system again. Your skin is your third kidney. You got some deep tissue work to do here, sounds like to me. So you need to get up on some fast, some fruit fast. Mind it. Not really fasting, it's just eating the foods your body's designed to eat. But get up on a fruit diet. If you have to, go on a grape fast or something. Get on the lymphatics, get into the kidneys, as we've discussed. Get into the GI tract, use the GI broom, and start pulling your lymph system clean. It's the only way you're going to find remedy here. Obviously, the adrenals are a big result here. And, of course, that then trips the kidneys, and now you have the lymphatics. Epstein-Barr viral, all virals are just advantaged things like that. Not easy to get out of the body. Deeper problems, much deeper problems than Epstein-Barr viruses. Can't play. MDs and NDs say low sugar diet. See, that's the problem. The problem is you got high fungus, just don't eat sugar. Well, that's as stupid. It's just, these are all just stupid remarks like that, because it's just. A 2-year-old could make that comment, but it's wrong thinking, because to do that you have to trip up to your high proteins, and then that's the reason why we have kidney problems. So you can't go that way. You can't avoid sugars, because that's carbon, and carbon is the essential need of the human body. It's not about that. It's about sugar metabolism, which is your adrenal glands, and the inability to metabolize sugars. Fungus is only involved in fermentation. They're not there gobbling up your sugars. They're involved in fermentation of sugars. And that's the process you see. Go back to the experiment that I told you about. Put a handful of grapes on your kitchen counter. Put a piece of bread and a piece of cheese. Which one of those three grow mold on them first? Not the fruit. Not at all. The bread and the cheeses, they're fermented foods. The grapes only grow mold on them when they start to ferment. That's life going back to death, so we can use those atoms for something else. We're in a total constant rearrangement of atoms here. Have to be, because we can't grab new atoms to make life. Life is already built, so we have to rearrange atoms. So bodies have to change. In other words, bodies have to terminate and then build something else out of that, just like you would play with a Lego set. Same thing. So these MDs and NDs, and an ND that doesn't get it, disgraceful. But I've learned that's a myth, absolutely. However, I've been high fruit, low fat for a month, and my eczema is much. Well, fruit's going to kick up the mix, guy. Want to get on some herbs, this is where you're going to see the herbs come in and really help you. And that is, you've got to go after the kidneys and the adrenals. This is one of the big problems here. And then go after that lymph system. Clean up your gut, as what you're asking anyway, and get all yourself cleaned up. You really do a lot better than trying to do this with fruit and vegetables. I think some of you guys on Facebook, just remember, and you're going to see this a lot, that diet alone just is real hard to do. In some of these cases, diet, they're just not going to spend 5 years digging into their bodies with fasting and everything else. This is the advantage of herbs completely. Try to find affordability factor and at least get on some minimal ones that focus totally on your issue. This is the issue. People spend all this money on things they're not focusing on their issues. And that's why botanical, putting your money between a supplement or a botanical formula is night and day. And the botanical formulas, you want to look for the best, the strongest, and the one specifically that addresses your problems. Well, as you've learned in these videos, just what the problems are in humans. And if you address those, you'll be very successful, my friend. Let's see. I can't eat 1/4 watermelon without feeling bloated. Well, that really, definitely, this isn't fungus in the body. I think this is something much worse. I think you're really involved lymphatically in the wall, interstitial lymphatic constipation in your gut wall. That's the only reason you would get that kind of bloating like that. You also might check pancreatic function and digested foods in your stool to see if you're digesting your carbos properly. Could have a little pancreatic weakness to compute with this, but very suggestive your lymph system's backed up in the gut wall. Well, this is all just culturing medium stuff, but that would be more problematic there. Very acidic. So this shows high acidosis, so this is something you have to work out. Get on the GI broom, get stomach and bowel number, whatever you need to move your bowels. Get lymphatic 1 capsules, that'll handle that side of it. And if it was me, then I'd go into another lymphatic, say lymphatic 4 or lymph node 2, get into another kidney 1 capsules, then maybe doing a kidney number 2, and really tear this apart. Spend a few months ripping apart with the herbs and the diet, and you'll be successful. But if you're trying to do it with diet, hang in there. You're going to see skin breaking out. It could get real bad, real itchy and breaking out. I mean, when you're detoxifying, your skin can explode with itching and redness and everything else. We see that a lot, particularly if the kidneys are really closed. Your skin is going to make that up, especially if you start moving lymph. And fruit really moves lymph. I think a lot of you are getting that now. And before it was a struggle to convince some of you that fruit was the kings, and now you guys are getting it. And it's just you seeing it. Everyone I'm talking to is getting it and getting way out there in your health issues. Thinking of juice fasting, good idea. Alcohol and herbs is too much for stomach, and well, do the capsules, absolutely. Thoughts on Ayurvedic? Only if you use those herbs for specific, for what you need. Instead of, I don't go in Ayurvedic thinking with the body types and everything. I don't go in that way. I go with Homo sapiens as a species and physiology and anatomy of the Homo sapiens. Individuality simply means genetics. But I would use any herbs for my specific areas I want to work on, like kidneys, like lymphatics, like adrenals. Use those herbs for those type of problems, no matter what country you're in. Oh, Rohan, Super Tramp. Hey, my friend, how are you? Back in New Zealand, man? Missing your company. Same here. It was a good dude. Did you guys like Rohan? He's a good dude here. When I have a big drink of fresh organic apple juice, I get, I was talking to Yash yesterday. He's in Thailand. I think you met him when he was here. And he is chowing down on he got first-hand look at why we have a hard time here, of why I have a hard time and upset about the fact that I can't be more fruitarian. Just come down to where I am and take a look around. It's highly disappointing. Matter of fact, the states are highly disappointing when it comes to fruit eating. And he's in Thailand and everything is super fresh. And he said, I can't believe when I got back the difference I feel eating these foods over here. And I said, oh yeah, been there, done it. And it's why it's really depressing when you're trying to eat right and be right. You can't do it because of your environment and stuff. It's kind of sad stuff. Hopefully in time we'll everything will balance out and will bring this the growing of fruit up there. Whenever he drinks a fresh organic apple juice, I get a hit to the chest, tightening and followed by fatigue. Oh, wow. This certainly does not happen with orange juice, and I'm wondering what you think about. Feels like a neurological hit or something. Well, that would be. I love the heart in your apple. You know, really, I don't know. I mean, whoo-wee, apples are stronger than what people think. You know, an apple a day will keep the doctor away. Apples are very powerful foods. I don't know if people realize that. You can apple juice fast, pretty good fast in and of itself. I don't know what to tell you. My first take would have been something besides organic, some chemical or something maybe causing that, a neurotoxin, because fatigue would be a neurotoxic effect. And I don't know. If you're grinding the seeds in with that, I wouldn't do it. You got cyanide in the seeds of apples and in a lot of seeds. Some people claim no big deal, but there is a lot of cyanide in them. You saw that on Dr. Oz and that controversy, so I don't know. Definitely wouldn't juice the seeds just to see if that's a problem for you. Take the seeds out, and if you still don't get that, then you know immediately it was the seeds that did that, man. So if you keep getting that hit, don't do it. Avoid it. Get away from that organic apple juice. And you never know when something's organic or not organic. Not really. But keep in mind the apple seeds, not really for consumption. I don't even see primates eating seeds. We were talking about that last night with Yaz. Primates don't eat generally the outer peel or the seeds. So it's just something to think about there, Rowan. I sent Jennifer a link to some good-looking. Yeah, we got that. Thank you much. Thank you much, love, from the States to New Zealand. Lip node 2 still butt kicking me. Well, if it is, cut way back. Because I'll tell you something. That lip node 2 formula is very, very strong. And we don't want it to kick your liver too much either. So cut way back on it. It's not important that you master that formula. These herbs, I've learned it the hard way that herbs can do serious issues to you. So be careful. Oh, look at this. This is Glendella. She's on dialysis, I take it. Hi, Dr. Morris. This is Glenrella. Glenrella. In your answer to my last question, you had trouble reading my name. Yes. The next question. When someone is on dialysis, what should I feed to them by the way of fruits, and what herbs would you suggest? P.S. Love you. Love you too from Michigan. Michiganer. Well, you know, dialysis is a pain in the ass. There's no question about that. Pardon my French. But the very procedure of dialysis is toxic. The very procedure of dialysis slams the kidneys and adrenals in and of itself. Constantly messes with your potassium and phosphorus. Not just kidney weakness does that. The dialysis procedure does that. Seen a lot of people that had perfect potassium and phosphorus levels until they went on dialysis. I've seen people that were self-urinating before they went on dialysis, and when they started dialysis, their body stopped peeing. I didn't really like that. I knew a dialysis nurse that became very sick working in dialysis, and her MD told her to get out. So all I can tell you is that you have to burn through these things. I have plenty of dialysis clients, and I put them on all raw, mostly fruit. If they're not self-urinating, and they could hold a little water, they could actually have an extra dialysis time, but they generally have it 3 days a week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday should be adequate. I don't care about potassium levels. Let the medical doctors mess with the potassium and phosphorus levels. It's a game they play. Your game is to make tissue healthy. Same diet, same everything. It doesn't matter what procedure you're on. You got to head down that road. Kidney number 1 capsules. I'd use kidney number 2 or kidney number 1 liquid with it. Definitely the lymphatics. Maybe go a little slow on the lymphatics at first, like lymphatic 1. You want to clean up the bowels, obviously. Very important connection to all the tissues is the gut. Remember the embryonic tail, the tree, and all the branches, all the organs and glands come out of the tail of the embryo, which is the gut and spinal column. So just remember how that plays out, and that all tissue basically is wrapped with gut tissue. And so that symbiotic relationship, always clean up the GI tract, Always work on the kidneys and adrenals and the lymphatic system, and there ain't much that the body can't do after that. I don't care what problem or condition you're in, going down the road of health in that way, get rid of everything here. Working with dialysis clients can be tricky. If they're self-urinating, you can get them out of there quicker than later. And it's just going to sometimes be a leap of faith. Depends on the creatinine levels and things like this. If your creatinine levels are 3 or below and you're self-urinating, I'd be very cautious about doing dialysis myself. So you have to look at that. If you're doing dialysis, I highly recommend that you a dose of God's blend after dialysis to refurbish the blood. And remember, you're not doing anything for the lymph system. You're just cleaning the blood, so your lymph system continues to get worse. This is why you always see in kidney failure the gangrenes and the neuropathies and everything. It isn't a part of a friggin' disease that's made up by medical doctors. This is an actuality of what happens when kidneys don't filter the lymph and what acids do to tissue. That's simple. Glendarella. The Nori Master. Great. Oh, thanks there on the adrenal glands. Thank you so much for what you do. Thank you, the Nori Master. Your book has literally changed, oh good, and empowered me to heal myself after years of being destroyed by the medical system. Thank you, Nori Master. Good name. Listen, I'm glad you're here, glad you woke up to that. Some people just don't get it about allopathic medicine. They still have their faith in allopathic medicine. For what? What in the world do they cure? You know, yesterday I got a little imbalance with that one issue about allopathy in Holland or wherever it is. This person's way out of touch. I have no clue here. I'll tell you, spending a month in my office will change your attitude big time on what's going on out there. Miss September. Robert, I don't see you promoting early and good night's sleep to regenerate and charge up the adrenals. Why is it? I don't get any. No, you know what? I am a big proponent of relaxation and rest, whatever that means. But absolutely, rest is a really key. This is what I liked about Bruce Cohen in the Brant Ridge School. Sad if it's not out there anymore, but it was a good naturopathic school. Really right into the focus that I liked. Back then, radionics was pretty high in naturopathy, so the school was high on radionics, but energy healing basically with radionic machines and stuff. Dr. Jensen had a radionic machine. I don't know where that one is. There was some 5 fingers going on here. But rest is a vital part of that. So we talked a lot about this, about exercise. And to be honest, if you don't relax, your condition will get to you to the point where it'll force you to relax. You'll get so tired it'll force you. So relaxation, definitely a big part of that. Early sleep. And here's another problem with that. When you get, well, and Yaz is having this problem right now. He just came off a 30-day water fast. Well, all I can tell you is that when you get way up there in fruitarianism, you don't, when you awake, you don't sleep. What sleeps is maybe your body, but you don't. And the problem with it, you are the power to the human body. So that's why you have to have some curtains kind of pulled over you so you allow the body to rest, because you're channeling energy through that silver cord to that body. And you really have to allow that body to rest. That was one of my problems, is I had to back down because my body couldn't handle it anymore. Even though it was laying there and I was traveling and fully conscious out of it, my body couldn't tolerate it. Even when I was in it, it was just really difficult. So I had to kind of lower my energy a little bit because it was too much. You know, and that's the problem with too much energy. So you got several things to think about, but I'm definitely for good sleep. But what good sleep is to one person isn't to another. You give me 3 hours sleep, it's plenty. Depends on my stress levels, of course. But if I can escape in the now as much as possible, I don't need sleep, because it's only my body. And if I can learn to quiet my mind and emotions, and I walk with relaxation, and I am relaxation in the moment, my body's getting charged constantly. So, that's kind of a relative thing. But yeah, definitely good rest and sleep. I'm definitely a proponent of relaxation over exercise at times, and then I'm a proponent of exercise too. So it's just all, relative to what you're going after. Initially, I think people ought to sit down and rest for a while. I think man's worked himself too hard. We don't rest enough. We don't play enough. We need to have those things. It's work, work, work. But look, we've set $1 million homes in our visions and $50,000 cars and things like that. When you're paying this kind of money out just to drive something around, or just to put a head over you or a roof over you, and you work all your life, you don't have any time to rest and relax. I'd rather live in a teepee and have, or an RV, which is what I do, and have time to relax. So, thank you, Miss September. Appreciate the comment, definitely. Let's see, number one. Hi again, Dr. Morris. This is cool. I have to add yet another question. I struck it hold again. I couldn't stay on a juice either. Became hyper-stressed. Couldn't sleep and itched all over. I had to pull back to cook vegetables. Couldn't stand it. Would that be okay? Yeah, I'd be okay. You know what? You just work yourself. Just work yourself. That's why the herbs are real important. And when you get the affordabilities down, definitely work with the herbs, because they take off a lot of this that raw foods would take you a lot longer and a lot of ups and downs to do. It works so much better when you get on work with the kidneys specifically, along with the lymph, cleaning the bowels. You do all this together, boy, you're so much more successful in getting yourself, and you don't go through so much skin and all these other things. Although we do have clients that put them on the herbs and bam, they've got rashes and itching all over. Some people are pretty backed up subcutaneously, which is right under this epidermis and dermis, and subcutaneous is under there. That's an area that rides with the lymph nodes a little bit, and this is all tied to elimination. But this is also where stagnation can exist, and I think I showed you in class in iridology where that is, around the scurf rim there, and that lymph node ring around that area. And sometimes the skin is the way out, and there's just no two ways about it. Use hot and cold compress, etc., etc. Skin's drying up, very uncomfortable every way. Any input would be greatly appreciated. Again, skin's third kidney. Hot and cold compress to scrub the skin, but definitely indicative of kidney weakness and adrenal glands. So get into that side of it and start opening up that door, which will take relief of this door. Make sure your thyroid is up there. That's another problem. Make sure you sweat. Get into a steam sauna. Check your basal temperatures. If your thyroid is low, you're not going to be able to sweat because the body's too cold to sweat. So kick up that thyroid, get the body temperature up, and then the body will be able to sweat better, promote sweating and clean the skin at the same time, get into the kidneys and adrenals and promote lymph drainage that way, and you'll be good, cool. I'm going to have to cut off here, unfortunately. I hate that. Hey, Doc Morris, if you were suffering with unbearable amounts of pain and you were unable to find a remedy, would you immobilize yourself from 3D? I would leave and not come back. I mean, if I was in unbearable pain, I'd just go into fasting for sure and really move my lymph and stuff. If I wanted to stay on the planet, and I would definitely have to get into my lymph system and really honk on it and work in that direction, controlling the pain in however way you can, except stay away from morphine, sulfates, and things like that if you can, but really dig into that lymph system, get into the kidneys and everything else. Or leave your body and go on and have fun in another body. But, whatever you want to do with that. Has God made a nerve for this last act? Oh, there's some. Oh, yeah. There's some for the last act, a Ouija bird. Absolutely, my friend. Definitely. But dig into the lymph. That's where the issue is acidosis. Dig into that lymph. Could take you a while. Use a GI broom, clean up the bowels, everything like that. You should be okay there, digging deep into that. That's all I know to do. Use pain meds as you need them, to keep yourself halfway sane. Writing with pain isn't the answer either. You're going to find, those of you that are healers and working with people, sometimes you have to give them an Advil. You have to give them something. I mean, there are some pharmaceutical needs out there right now. We're so involved now. We need pharmaceuticals to a certain point, and limited point. Absolutely essential. But we're working to the point where we don't. We're working to the point where we don't need the glandulars. We're working to the point where we don't need the pharmaceuticals. We're working to the point. You see what I'm saying? We need to get out there and open up this consciousness on this planet so we don't need these perverse things, that we can actually we can actually walk with health and spirituality and create a little bit of a utopia in Hellville. Anyway. You guys have fun today. I got to carry on and see what my load is today. I'm going to keep trying to come in here and catch up with all these. I definitely want to do that. Again, repost if I haven't get to you, please. Some of this has been a little hard for me to keep up with, but I'm doing all your protocols for you. I'm doing all this by hand, and so I'm pretty backed up. And then class, had quite a few iris analysis to do, and that's a lot of work. So just hang in there with me. Be well. Love you all very much there. And take care of yourselves. I'm always with you guys. And we're walking together as a team to Wellville and God consciousness. Have a fun day. Bye-bye.